There is a very specific type of silence that you know better than anyone else. It is not the peace of a quiet morning or the calm of a sleeping house. It is the silence of a phone that does not ring when your world is falling apart. It is the hollow feeling in your chest when you realize you are carrying a weight that would crush two normal people. And yet, when you look around for a hand to hold or a shoulder to lean on, the space around you is completely empty. You are the person everyone calls when they are in trouble. You are the midnight therapist, the crisis manager, the secret keeper, and the rock. But when the cracks start to form in your own foundation, when the water starts rising around your ankles, suddenly everyone else is busy. Everyone else is tired. Everyone else assumes you can handle it because you always handle it. It feels like a betrayal, a cosmic joke where you give everything and receive nothing in return. But I am here to tell you that this isolation is not an accident, and it is not because you are unlovable. It is a byproduct of your sheer power, written directly into the celestial code of your birth. I am Madame Tina. For more than 20 years, I have sat across from souls just like yours, reading the complex geometry of the stars to understand why strong people suffer in silence. I have studied thousands of charts, analyzing the specific degrees and planetary movements that dictate human behavior. I have seen the patterns that repeat over decades, revealing the uncomfortable truths about human nature. In all my time doing this work, the phenomenon of the isolated Scorpio is the most consistent and heartbreaking pattern I have ever witnessed. There is a brutal reason why help never comes for you, and it has nothing to do with bad luck. It has everything to do with the terrifying signal you broadcast to the world without even realizing it. By the end of this conversation, you will understand exactly why your specific date of birth creates this dynamic and how to stop resenting the solitude so you can finally use it. We need to strip away the sugarcoating and look at the raw mechanics of your existence. You are born under a sign ruled by Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, and Mars, the planet of war. Right out of the gate, you are not designed for casual, easy connections. You are designed for the trenches. But the nuance lies in exactly when you were born during the Scorpio season. The reason a Scorpio born in late October finds themselves alone is radically different from the reason a mid-November Scorpio is abandoned. Let's look at the first group, those born roughly between October 23rd and October 30th. If you fall into this window, you are what I call the diplomatic strategist, sitting on the residue of Libra energy but plunging into the depths of Scorpio water. You possess a charm that other Scorpios lack. You know how to smile at a dinner party while you are structurally analyzing everyone's weaknesses. The reason nobody helps you, the October 23rd to 30th group, is because you are too good at the performance. You have inherited the Libra desire for social grace, which means you view your own pain as unseemly or messy. You hide your wounds behind a veneer of perfection and control. People do not help you because they genuinely do not know you are bleeding. You have convinced the world that you are untouchable, that your life is a series of well-executed maneuvers. When you are in your darkest hour, you tend to withdraw and go silent rather than scream. You expect people to read your mind, because your intuition is so high that you can read theirs. You assume that if they loved you, they would see through the mask. But they can't. They just see the composure you project. You are alone because your pride refuses to let anyone see you sweat, and by the time you actually ask for help, the damage is often already catastrophic. You treat vulnerability like a strategic error, and the world believes the lie you sell them. Moving deeper into the season, the energy shifts violently. We enter the domain of the pure phoenix, those born between October 31st and November 7th. If the first group is alone because they hide their pain, this group is alone because their pain is so intense it literally burns other people. This is the heart of the Scorpio season, where the influence of Pluto is unfiltered and raw. You do not have the social buffer of Libra. You are pure, concentrated intensity. When you go through a crisis, it is not just a bad day. It is a total demolition of your previous self. You experience emotions at a voltage that would short-circuit a normal nervous system. The brutal reason you are alone during these times is that your transformation requires a blast radius that most people are terrified to enter. Think about the myth of the phoenix. It does not burn in a flock. It burns alone. When you are in your darkest hour, you subconsciously push people away because you know, on a soul level, that they cannot save you. Only you can save you. You project a field of energy that says danger or keep out because you are in the middle of a spiritual surgery. However, the human side of you craves comfort. You want someone to hold your hand while you burn, but when they try, you might lash out, or you might reveal a shadow side of your personality, jealousy, obsession, raw anger that sends them running. People sense that you are dealing with life and death stakes, even if the problem is just a breakup or a job loss. To you, everything feels like a matter of survival. This intensity is overwhelming for the average person who just wants to offer a cliché and move on. They abandon you not because they don't care, but because they feel inadequate in the face of your tsunami. This is a heavy realization to carry. It feels unfair that your depth is the very thing that isolates you. If you are listening to this and you feel that sting of recognition, if you have ever felt like you are screaming underwater and nobody gets wet but you, I want to invite you to join our community. We talk about the things the rest of the world is too polite to mention. Go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. It is just a small click for you, but it helps us find the others who are walking this same lonely path. We are building a space where your intensity is not too much, where your silence is understood without you having to explain it. Returning to this middle group, the pure phoenixes, there is another layer to your isolation. It is the mirror effect. Because you are ruled by the deep waters of Pluto, you act as a perfect mirror to everyone around you. When people come close to you during your dark times, they don't just see your pain. They are forced to look at their own unresolved issues. You trigger people just by existing. If a friend tries to help you, and they are living a lie in their own marriage or career, your raw honesty in that moment will make them feel exposed. They pull away from you to protect their own delusions. You are left alone in the wreckage, wondering why your best friend suddenly stopped calling, not realizing that your crisis forced them to face a truth they weren't ready for. You are a catalyst for truth, and truth is a very lonely business. The isolation is a protective mechanism for them and a necessary incubator for you. You need the void to recreate yourself. If people were constantly rescuing you, you would never tap into that reservoir of nuclear power that allows you to rise from the ashes. As we march into the second week of November, specifically from the 8th to the 14th, the texture of the loneliness changes again. This is the domain of the resilient builders. In this decan, the energy of Scorpio blends with a sub-influence of other planetary forces that bring structure, discipline, and an almost frightening level of endurance. If you were born in this window, you often give off the energy of a fortress. You are not just intense, you are impenetrable. The brutal reason nobody helps you is that you have successfully trained everyone in your life to believe that you do not have needs. You are the strong friend magnified by a factor of 10. You are the one who organizes the funerals, who manages the finances when the market crashes, who stays calm when the house is on fire. You have a deep-seated fear of being indebted to anyone. You view reliance on others as a weakness or a liability. So you build your life in a way that ensures you never have to ask for a favor. You pay your own way, you fix your own car, you heal your own heart. But the tragedy of this self-sufficiency is that it renders you invisible when you are actually drowning. People look at you and see a pillar of concrete. They cannot imagine that the pillar is crumbling on the inside. You might be sitting in a hospital waiting room, staring at a terrifying diagnosis, and your friends are texting you, complaining about their bad haircuts or minor inconveniences because they assume you are fine. You are always fine. That is the role you play. This group is often influenced by a Saturnian need for respect and legacy. You want to be respected more than you want to be pitied. Asking for help feels like a loss of rank or status. So you suffer in silence, waiting for someone to be perceptive enough to climb over the walls you built. But those walls are too high. And honestly, your competence is intimidating. People feel useless around you. If they try to offer advice, you probably already thought of it 3 weeks ago. If they try to offer money, you probably have a savings plan they don't know about. They stop offering help because you make them feel redundant. The isolation here is a product of your own competence. You have made yourself an island nation, fully self-sustaining, and then you wonder why no boats ever dock at your harbor. It is a painful paradox. You crave deep connection and support, but your demeanor screams, "I have this under control." You punish people for not seeing your pain, yet you never showed it to them. You might drop subtle hints, expecting others to have your detective-level skills of observation, but they don't. They are simple creatures compared to the labyrinth of your mind. They need you to say the words, "I am not okay." But those 4 words feel like acid on your tongue. So you endure. You endure the breakup, the bankruptcy, the grief, with a stoic face, adding another layer of armor to your soul, reinforcing the very walls that keep the love out. You tell yourself that nobody cares, but the truth is, nobody knows how to care for a tank. They only know how to care for people, and you have stopped looking like a person and started looking like a machine of survival. Finally, we arrive at the commanders of the zodiac, the Scorpios born between November 15th and November 21st. This is the culmination of the sign, approaching the cusp of Sagittarius. The energy here is vast, authoritative, and nearly royal. If you are in this group, you possess a natural authority that can be downright terrifying to others. You are the final boss of the Scorpio season. The reason you are alone in your darkest hour is simple and harsh. People are scared of you. Even when you are broken, you carry an air of danger and power. You look like a wounded lion, still lethal, still capable of biting the hand that tries to feed it. People hesitate to approach you not because they lack compassion, but because they lack the courage. Your energy is expansive and decisive. When things go wrong in your life, you tend to go into a mode of scorching the earth. You cut people off, you make drastic changes, you burn bridges to light your way forward. This volatility frightens the timid. They see you destroying your own life to rebuild it, and they step back to avoid the shrapnel. You also have a very low tolerance for incompetence or pity. If someone tries to help you with clumsy platitudes or half-hearted gestures, you might look at them with such disdain that they wither. You demand a level of loyalty and depth that most modern humans are simply incapable of providing. You are looking for a warrior to stand back to back with you in the battle, but you look around and only see civilians, so you fight alone. This specific period also introduces an element of the Sagittarius quest for truth and freedom. You are a hybrid of the mystic and the general. Your battles are often spiritual or existential, battles that cannot be shared with ordinary minds. You are fighting demons while everyone else is fighting traffic. The loneliness here is almost a requirement for your destiny. You are meant to lead, and leaders are always separate from the pack. The view from the top of the mountain is magnificent, but the air is thin and there is no one standing next to you. You have to accept that your capacity for pain and your capacity for recovery are superior to those around you. Expecting them to carry your burden is like trying to load a freight train onto a bicycle. It won't work, and you will just end up frustrated with the bicycle. But here is the turning point, the light at the bottom of the well. This isolation, this brutal silence you have endured your whole life, is not a punishment. It is an initiation. The universe isolates you because you are being prepared for something that requires total self-mastery. Every time you were left alone in the dark, you learned how to generate your own light. You stopped looking for batteries outside of yourself and became the generator. The October strategists learn to validate themselves without an audience. The Phoenixes learn that they can survive the fire. The builders learn that vulnerability is actually a form of structural integrity. And the commanders learn that true power is being able to stand alone without being bitter about it. I want to hear from you now. I know you are out there watching this on your phone or computer, perhaps feeling that familiar ache in your chest. I want you to go down to the comments section and tell me, which date range are you? And when was the last time you had to save yourself because nobody else came? Let's turn that comments section into the support group you never had. Share your story. You are not screaming into the void anymore. You are speaking to us. If this message resonated with your spirit, there is another aspect of your personality that we need to uncover. Something even deeper than your isolation. You need to understand the hidden talent that this darkness has given you. Click the video that is appearing on your screen now to see the other side of the coin. I will see you there.